Hello, welcome to tonight's webinar. We will go ahead and get started. My name is Carrie Talbot. I'm a Student Success Advisor and Curriculum Specialist at ICANN, and welcome to tonight's Wednesday webinar on exploring careers. There are many resources we do have available on our website to help you with this career exploration for students in high school. And I will be dropping a link in the chat where you can get those materials and right on our website for free. And those that I am going to reference are our countdown calendars. So we have 4 sets of those. Well, they're front and back. So we have a freshman, sophomore calendar, front and back, and then a junior, senior countdown calendar, front and back. These calendars are month-to-month tasks that students can do each month. There's about 5 or so tasks each month, and by doing those tasks, they're well on their way to explore the career and make the right choices and moves to be successful and ready to go after high school in those careers. We also have the Life After High School Guide to Career and College Planning. That guide is an excellent guide of kind of all the steps involved for career exploration, even then going through the application route, whether they're going to college or military and so forth. So those are some great resources that we have available. And if you are watching this webinar live, as we do record these and put on our website, but if you are here live tonight, we do have the chat feature enabled, so feel free to go and ask any questions you have in that chat. And I am happy to answer any of those questions that you have throughout the evening as well. So a little bit about ICANN in case you are not familiar with us. We are a free advising service for students, families, and schools, and we offer advising services around career exploration and planning, so helping with those career exploration tools, college exploration, selection, and application. So we help families and students going through how to explore colleges, helping them figuring out how to do those applications, as well as then going through and preparing to pay for college. So we help with the FAFSA, that free application for federal student aid, helping make sure students have filled that out, providing resources for where they can look for scholarships as well. And then once you get those financial aid offers from those schools, we also help families to work through what do those financial aid packages mean, helping you to know exactly what the cost is going to cost and how to maybe cover some of those costs through grants, scholarships, and loans. We do also assist with filling out the CSS profile for those students that are heading to colleges that do require the CSS profile as well. So tonight, career planning and career exploration. Why is it important to plan? Asking students these questions of what have you thought about what you want to do after high school? Creating those plans of what they might not want to do, not where they want to go, but maybe what careers they want to explore, and figuring out what careers will lead to the lifestyle they want and that meets their interests. Research shows that those that have plans, goals for life, no matter what it is in any area, are more successful in achieving those plans, even if the route had to change or the plan had to change, but they are more successful in accomplishing those goals. When students are exploring their careers that they might take, it's a great opportunity for them to think about the people that they know and the jobs that those people have, whether that's family, friends, relatives, coworkers, or mentors, teachers, what jobs those people have, and thinking and asking those people, why do you love your job? Or what don't you like about your job? And starting to reflect, is that an area or something that I would like to do? The more you plan, the more you explore, the more likely you are to find a job that you love and that will help sustain the lifestyle and the success you want in life. So one of those main ways is through goal setting, like I've kind of mentioned already. Setting goals about your careers, about your interests, and how you're going to go about that. Goal setting can be anything about career planning, can be about certain skills you need. So if you know you want to be a welder or you want to be in accounting, what skills are needed for those careers? And through your exploration, you'll learn what skills are needed. And then starting to make goals on, okay, I know I need to work on, being able to have precision skills in measuring or in working with type of machinery and setting goals of, okay, I'm going to master those skills to help you into that career area. Or setting goals and plans on what subjects do you need to take in high school. If you want to be in accounting, well, take the business classes you have at school. If you want to be in welding, making sure that you're saying, I need to take these industrial tech classes because they are going to help me. Setting goals on getting experiences. So all jobs out there, students can participate while in high school, and we will talk about it a little bit, and we'll talk about it here in a little bit, is going on job shadows or seeing if you can't take part in a work-based learning experience or in an internship or going to meet with an employer and getting industry tours and seeing what it is like on those jobs. And then lastly, also creating a financial plan. Knowing what you want to do is great. And then figuring out, how am I going to get there? Do I need to go to college? Do I need to get a 4-year degree? Do I need to go through an apprenticeship? And whichever plan that is, how am I going to pay for that plan? And start making those goals now while you are in high school. Not having goals, especially around this area, can increase overall costs and debt to students, especially since if they don't know what they want to do, they're going to just start going to classes or going to college and not having an idea and taking out and taking classes that don't relate, causing them to spend more time in college, potentially, depending on their career, or even spending more money because those classes didn't fit in the career that they ended up really wanting to go into. So a great way to do this is writing down your goals, getting out that piece of paper and saying, okay, what is my goal? And then outlining the step-by-step process of how you are going to get there. Take that overarching goal of, I want to be a welder, and how are you going to break that down? What do you need to do in high school? How do you need to achieve that? Where are you going to take those classes? How are you going to get into the program? What is the application process? And writing down all of those steps to reach that goal. And then as you're working on it, cross those steps off once you've gotten it. So now talking about pay. When it comes to careers, we are going to get paid for those. So getting to that career, how are you going to get there and how are you going to end up making what you want? There are many routes for post-secondary education. You can go the college degree 4-year route and get that bachelor's degree. You can do a career tech program in a community college or a technical school. There's diplomas and certificate programs, which are less than a year programs that students can take to gain the industry skills they need. You can join the military. You can go on an apprenticeship and right away do on-the-job training and get paid while working and learning. Or you can go on and self-employment and start your own business. There are many routes to take to get where you want to go. Which route is going to help you get to your ultimate goal for that? Speaking specifically on getting paid in money, if we just take, the example of minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, and if you are working 8 hours a day for 5 days for 52 weeks of the year, your salary is just over $15,000. If you got a job that's $10 an hour, at the end of the year, you'd have about a salary of just over $20,000. So what does that mean? If you settle for a minimum wage job or a $10 an hour job, where are you going to land in terms of your income or your family? Is it going to get you the lifestyle you want? Is it going to provide you a sustainable income for living? And as you can see, poverty guidelines here, just a family of one, poverty is considered just over $11,000. But if you have a spouse and kids, that poverty line starts creeping up a little bit, and even a $10,000 or $10 an hour job for a family of 3 or 4 you're sitting at poverty line. So it is important to think about, how are you going to get where you want and lead the lifestyle? Career ready is college ready, and we'll see that any form of education is going to help with having a living salary to go by. Right now, all new jobs in the country, no matter where at, about 68, closer now to 70% of jobs require some form of post-secondary education and training. So, more than half those jobs mean that 5% of jobs out there require just a high school diploma. And when you have that high school diploma, that's where that minimum wage is starting to come into. So While there are jobs available for just a high school diploma, there are not many available at that level. So is it really worth it to go on to education and training? We know that high school level is just diploma is getting us at that about poverty line. So is education and training worth it? Well, as you can see here on the screen in front of you, an associate's degree, an apprenticeship program, that's a couple years of schooling after high school. On average, their average national salary is $62,000. Going for a four-year degree, the average national salary is $85,000. An apprenticeship program, the average annual salary can get up to $80,000 in an apprenticeship program out there. So, this speaks that yes, having education and training of some form, again, not just a four-year college, but even an apprenticeship, leads to a good salary afterwards. This is just a sample of the income earnings with a two-year career and tech degree. The various careers in there that we sampled. This is specifically for Iowa salaries. You can see just various examples there, like the wind turbine or registered nurses, mechanical drafter. These are all CTE programs. These are all two-year community college programs that students can go into. You can see the starting salary for all of those careers, the median average salary, and the maximum or that top salary for that career. So for many of these, they are starting on an average or starting salary is around $30,000, with the median salaries ranging from anywhere from $50,000 on average to some of them even $90,000, with the top salaries capping out at about $80,000, some at over $100,000 for those top salaries for these two-year degrees. And then here are the salaries for registered apprenticeships. These are hourly wage salaries, since that is how apprenticeships normally report their wages. So, but as you can see, these are very high hourly salaries that registered apprenticeship students can take advantage of. And with these, when they are an apprenticeship, they start earning that money right away. So they are getting that hourly salary day one in a registered apprenticeship. The difference between these two columns is the hourly wage is what they are getting purely for that work. The wage package includes all those additional items that they are getting within that career, like the benefits and everything like that. So that is why those two are different. So the wage salary versus the package salary. So then how do you go about exploring these careers? You know that getting an education is worthwhile. It is going to help you to get paid to make that money by going into some form of education. But we don't want students just to say, yep, I'm going to go for some education. We first want students to know, okay, but what career is going to get you there? So let's focus on and look at those careers. Some of the best ways to do this is through career assessments. These assessments are a series of short surveys that help to determine career pathways that fit students' personalities and interests. There are many different career assessments out there. I'm going to highlight one in this presentation that we utilize in our offices with students. But all of these assessments, no matter which interest inventory students take, whether they take them at school or they take them online, they all have the same purpose and the same end result of what they're going to produce. Each of them might produce different career options, but they all have the same benefit and the same purpose behind them. So these assessments help them to identify the students' strengths and interests that they have. It helps them to match results to career pathways or industries. They can then see specific careers and salaries and expectations for those careers. Then it also will help link those careers to education and training requirements. What do you have to do to get into that career? Is it a two-year degree? Is it a 6-month program? And then it all helps students to narrow down some options that fit them and that they were a starting place for them to start exploring those interests. Why do we have these career assessments? Well, it's all based in psychology theory with Holland's theory of career choice. And this whole theory is all about you are an individual with your own personality. And there are millions of careers out there with compatible work environments that exist. There's a sweet spot where you overlap with those careers, that environment, and those skills. And if you can find one of those careers in that match, then you are going to lead to greater success and satisfaction in career and life. So there will be many matches for students. And so it's not just one right answer, there are many possibilities for that student. So these are just some of the results when you're taking these interest inventories that you might see. Cullen's personality types are broken down into what they call RIASEC. So RIASEC. So you can be a realistic person, which is you like hands-on doing. You can be investigative or you like to problem solve. An artistic person, Chapman personality type is a creative person. Social personality types mean they're people persons, so they like to have those types of jobs. An enterprising personality is you are a persuader or you are a leader. And conventional is you are that organizer and you like tasks. So those are kind of the overarching descriptions that you might come up with, but each of those have categories for careers that match those. And so those results will match with those careers. So career clusters. Career clusters are a way to categorize and bring together careers that have similar knowledge or skill sets, which helps then students to know, okay, you might not know a specific career, but you can match with one of the overarching clusters that exist. So maybe it's the healthcare cluster, or it's the business finance cluster that you meet with, and then you can explore all those different jobs within that various cluster. So these are those 14 recognized national clusters. So, the advanced manufacturing, agriculture, arts, entertainment and design, construction, digital technology, education, energy and natural resources, financial services, health and human services, hospitality and events, management and entrepreneurship, marketing and sales, public safety, or public service and safety, and supply chain and transportation. So those are the 14 overall arching careers. Every single career that currently exists meets or satisfies and falls into one of those overarching clusters. So at ICANN, we do help students go through career assessments if need be. One that we utilize many, My ACT, Career Coach, Holland Occupational Test are some of those assessments that we can sit down and do with students. Specifically, I'll just highlight the ACT or My ACT. This is a free assessment that any student can take. It's right on ACT's website, so act.org. ACT, it's the same company that administers that ACT test that students take to get into college, but they have interest inventories on their website as well. Again, free account to make. A student might already have an account on here if they have already registered for the ACT at one point in time. It's that exact same account. They just go into the plan section of their ACT account. But on here, they have many different inventories. The first one is interest. So this asks you 72 questions about, just like the sample on the screen, use a microscope or other lab equipment. You just quickly answer as fast as you can. Is that something you like, dislike, or you're indifferent about? You do that for 72 items, and then it populates careers for you. There's abilities inventories in here. These are 18 questions. This is asking you how you rate yourself from low to high in terms of an ability that you have. So this one is communication. You're using words to describe people, places, events, ideas, or feelings. Where do you rate your abilities on that? Are you low in that ability? That's something you do not like, you are not good at? Or is that a high ability for you? That is something you strive at. People always comment how well you do at something like this. So where do you rate yourself on those abilities? And again, your results will help produce careers that match where your abilities currently are. And then there's values inventories. So values inventories are what you value on the job or in the work environment. So again, 22 questions here. An example on the screen is work in an office. Is this something you want when you have a career? You don't want this, it's very important for you, or it's somewhat to not important to you. You answer those 22 questions, and it then matches those values or those work conditions that you like and what you want to seek in a job to careers that have those same values attached to them. So when you take the ACT plans, Your assessments then come up with what's called this career map. It has all of the careers on there and it's broken up. And you will highlight some of your squares or circles will be either gray, blue, or red. Gray circles mean don't bother with those. They did not match you in any way, shape, or form. Ones that are blue mean that one of those three tests, the interests, abilities, or values, matched in that career cluster area. And then the red means two or more of those, so the abilities, interests, and values matched in that career cluster area. So what you can then do is click on those red or blue circles, and it will list all of the careers that match for that a little spot on their wheel. And then you can research more into those careers, see their salaries, see what work conditions are, the skills, what education is needed, and even come up with the majors that are needed for that career. So you can go through and look at the major maps and what schools then offer those majors. This is applicable for all over the nation, so you don't just have to look at schools in one nation. It can look at places all over the nation in here. So some growing industries, specifically in Iowa. Iowa ranks in the top 20 in the US for opportunity. This is based on affordability, economic opportunity, and equality. We're known for ag tech or animal health research. We are second nationally for wind energy. We're a leader for the finance and insurance industries. In healthcare, construction, transportation, and computer-related fields are our fastest growing segments in Iowa. All of these areas, you can go through and get an apprenticeship. You can do a 2-year program for these, or you can even do a 4-year or beyond degree in some of these areas. So some of those top growing industries, there are multiple different career routes to get to that area, as well as education routes. So to highlight some apprenticeships and trainings, getting an education is essential, but that doesn't mean you have to get a 4-year degree. Trades jobs account for about 56, so more than half of our labor market, with 52% of jobs opening in Iowa in this area. Healthcare, building trades, advanced manufacturing, they are all highly sought after and we're in the need. We have jobs in these areas that definitely need to be filled over the years. So this is an area that is great potential for students in those careers. Manufacturing, like I mentioned, 90% of Iowa's exports are usually around this area. And so manufacturing covers a wide span of things: production, manufacturing processes, maintenance, installation, repair, quality assurance, logistics, health, safety, environment assurance. So wide range of careers in that manufacturing industry as well. So what do you do in high school? You know some careers. What do you do in high school to help with this? High school is a great opportunity to gain experiences. You can gain experiences through the classes you take, through extracurricular activities, volunteer or work, job shadows, internships, and part-time employment. These are all things you can work with your school counselors on to get this experience, and they can help with recommendations on classes and extracurricular activities to help with too. For hands-on experiences, job shadows are a great opportunity for students to talk to an employer, somebody working at a company in a field that they want to go into potentially. This is you spend a day or a part of a day with somebody professional in that career, and you get to hang out with them, see what they do on a day-to-day basis, talk to them, ask them questions. An internship, these are in-depth looks at the careers. You get hired by that company, may not get paid. It might be a free, it might be a non-paid internship, but you get to then start working at that company and helping them see day to day what it would look like actually in that career field. Talk to your counselors about job shadows and internships. A lot of schools have somebody in their building that can help them coordinate these for them. So you don't have to try to find a company and call them and figure out this on your own. Your schools usually have somebody in their building that can help you find those job shadows and internships for you. Another a great way is volunteering. Volunteering in your company throughout the state and gaining access. You want to be in animal sciences, volunteering at your shelters or a vet clinic if you can in your area. or the humane societies or rescue leagues can help you kind of gain some experience in some of those animal science areas. And lastly, joining clubs, your extracurriculars at school, whether that's the art club or the Spanish club. Look at the clubs and organizations that your school offers, those before and after activities that students can have that that help for this. You know, if you are really into botany, maybe your school has a gardening club and you can start looking at and working with plants and soil and all of that. So looking at those extracurriculars and seeing, hey, do some of those work for the career I want to go into as well. If you're in business, does your school have an FBLA, Future Business Leaders of America, or one of those other business ones as well? So looking to see what extracurriculars are out there for your students. So you can jot down some job shadow ideas as well. You know, not that you can look for them on your own, you know, writing down a career that interests you, and then think about what company in your area does that work. If you like to do healthcare, write down the health clinics that are in your area. Maybe it's the veterans homes, maybe it's, you know, nursing homes. Where can you look at for those job shadows? Write down the career and write down companies in your own community that you can then reach out to if you'd like to do this on your own and see if you can't get a job shadow or talk to somebody there about their career. So some examples, you like legal, you know, look at the law offices in your town, the courthouses, the police stations. So many different options to look at for all of those different areas or industries that are out there. Another great thing that we always recommend students to doing is an activities resume. You know, this is a great place for students to start putting down their experiences in high school. This will be served and utilized a lot as they get through high school in their senior year and beyond. But this activities resume is in essence a resume for students. So this lists all of their school information, their academic information, and then the activities they were in, whether that's clubs, sports, organizations, after school curriculum programs, community activities, and listing what that was. Was it the football team? Was it the student council? Was it the art club? Writing down what that activity was, the number of years you did that activity. Did you do it your freshman year? You did it 9th through 12th grade year, just 10th and 12th grade year. And then write down any leadership activities or that you had in there. Were you the member of the team? What position did you play? Were you the captain? Were you a team member? Were you the secretary? Any position that you held there and anything that you did to help the team. And then listing honors, awards, and talents you've had. Maybe you received, you know, honor roll. Maybe you got athlete of the year, or maybe you won state, or you qualified for speech, state speech. Writing all of those honors, awards, and talents down that you have. And then writing down your community service or your volunteer work as well. You can and should include any part-time work. So if you work while in high school, putting that down on here as well, because you again gain very good skills through part-time work, whether that is in a job that is directly related to your career, or maybe it's not, but through that part-time job, you still learn the skills of time management, you learn those skills of punctuality, following directions, which are all skills that employers and colleges want to see from students as well. So how do you find that right fit? So right fit when it comes to careers, when it comes to college, and is all about fit. So finding that academic, cultural, and financial fit for you. We've talked about fit for your career in terms of your personality and your interests and your skills and your abilities. So then you know your career, but how do you find the right fit for the education you need for that career? So a great tool to utilize is collegeraptor.com. They have a list of all colleges in the nation. So again, this is national. And you can utilize what they call as their college match tool. This then lets you put in everything that you need out of a college. It will let you put in your grades. It will let you put in your ACT or SAT scores if you took that. It will let you put in if you want a certain size of a school, if you want it in a certain location, how much you can afford for college. They'll tell it can filter on what type of education you want, 2-year, 4-year degree. You can even put that it has to have certain activities for you, or culturally, it has to have certain stuff. So it will then match schools again nationally. If you let it go national, you just say, I want schools in Iowa, and only produce the results in Iowa or any certain state. But this is then a great way to start seeing the fit that you have at that school. So again, I mentioned that there are many options after school that will lead to the career you want. A full-time job, 2 or 4 years schooling, a career program, apprenticeship programs, military, all of those will lead to careers that you as the student want. So many different options out there. So it is important to develop a 4-year plan while in school. To have that 4-year plan, which lists all of those classes you are going to take in each year of high school, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, and keeping plan of that, keeping track of that plan, making sure you are putting in courses that relate to the careers you want to explore. And it's okay if this plan changes every year. Yeah, you might map out 4 years saying, I'm going to be a doctor. And then by your sophomore year, you change your mind. It's okay. This 4-year plan is a plan. You go back and say, okay, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I'm going to be a welder. And you can remodify that 4-year plan to get in courses that help satisfy or look into what does a welder do. It's important that these 4-year plans have all your high school graduation requirements on them, but then also looking at the admissions requirements for the program that you want to go into after high school. There are certain classes you have to take while you're in high school to be admitted into that university or into that program? If there is, make sure you put them on that 4-year plan. And as always, it's very important to work with your school counselor on those 4-year plans, so that way they can offer those recommendations as well. It's important when you're making those 4-year plans, like I mentioned, to take core classes. These are English, math, science, and social studies. These are usually core classes that are required while in high school anyways to graduate. But beyond that, core classes help to build a solid foundation for career and college ready. Helps you with that rigor and preparation for those courses. Colleges specifically pay more attention to core classes that students take as opposed to electives. So it is still important to take these. Even if high school says, nope, you only need to take 3 years of social studies. It still is okay and sometimes looks good for colleges to take 4 years of social studies. There are other classes you can take, like electives, college credit classes that help you to further explore those careers, the material that you are going to encounter in those careers as well to help with those experiences. Again, use those high school courses and experiences to explore and to rule out careers and majors that don't fit you. You might have gone on a job shadow or taken a class and decided, you know what, actually, that is not something I want to do. That is just as important as finding something you do want to do. Knowing what you don't want to do helps to eliminate some options, which then just means that you're closer to finding what you do want to do. So here's an example of those levels of education and training in the medical cluster. You could go through a very short 120-hour program and become a CNA, certified nurse assistant. You could go to a community college and do a diploma program in dental hygiene and be out within less than 2 years. You could do a 2-year associate program at the community college and become a surgical technician. You could go to a 4-year degree school, university, or college and become an RN or a registered nurse. You could go on to what is called a master's or a doctorate certificate, which is your bachelor's, so 4-year degree plus 3 years degree or more to become a physical therapist. Or you could go on to your residency and become a physician in medical school for 4 years and then residency for 3 to 8. So in one cluster, the medical cluster, every single one of those career options is a viable program. You can go into the military and become a EMT in the military, or a medical health person in the military as well, and get that training while in the military. So there are every single cluster, you can take any of the education and training routes to have a career that you as the students like. So any education and training option is a viable option to get to those careers for you. So this is just a sample template of a 4-year plan. So as you can see, this is for a health and human services track. So creating these 4-year plans, and we do have these templates on our website as well, or you can get templates from your counselor as well, because that will be applicable to your high school. But it just maps out, as you can see, in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade, what courses you're going to take in all of these areas of classes to help you get to the career that you want to do. And even has some suggestions on some extracurricular or college classes to take with those courses, or to get that. So then it comes down to affordability. So you know you're going to go on to education and training. So how do you afford it? The best way to do this is looking at what we like to call your starting salary. There's a great tool called Return on College Investment, or ROCKI. You can get it right online, as you can see on the website. What this is telling you, or what we utilize when we say starting salary. Every career has a starting salary. There's an average one. You can get that on ACT.org, or you can Google it and see what the average starting salary is for a career. If you know you're going to be living in a certain state, like Iowa, I would say, what is the average starting salary specifically for Iowa, as it can change nationally. But you utilize that starting salary to determine your overall budget for college plan, for your college. So that would be the maximum amount of money you should spend to get your college degree. So that would be what we call your borrowing limit, or the maximum amount of money that you need to borrow or spend. So if, for example, you take out $80,000 in student loans to pay for college, once you are done with college and you start paying that back, rough estimate of monthly payments on that loan would be $800. So starting salary is the maximum amount you should utilize to borrow. This keeps those monthly payments to 1%. So if your starting salary is $40,000, the maximum you should borrow for your degree, whether it takes you 1 year, 2 years, 8 years, 10 years, is $40,000. This means, rough estimate, your monthly payment will be about $400 for those 10 years, which is that standard payment plan. So just imagine if you're taking out $80,000, but you're only making $40,000, that's going to be a lot harder to pay that $800 a month. So that is why we have you think about your limits with that starting salary. Earn as you learn programs. Maybe this is your option. Apprenticeship programs are what are called Earn as you learn. This is where you work side by side with an apprenticeship, or professional, I should say, in that field. It combines job training with structured learning. This usually has no cost to students, except maybe some tools or some work boots or something like that, but no additional tuition fees. You get on the job training, you get with that classroom experiences, and you get a paycheck for both the work you do and the classes you're taking. You get that starting salary right away through this work. And many of these apprenticeships guarantee employment upon completion. So you finish their apprenticeship program, and they usually guarantee employment at that place as well, or at that company. So for some additional information, I know that's a lot of information in tonight's presentation on exploring careers, but we do have a website. iCanSucceed.org is our website. You can schedule an appointment with us. As you can see, there's a schedule appointment right in the middle of our website. You can schedule an appointment with us, and we can go over any of this information about career and college planning. In the upper right hand, you see that resource library link. That is where you can find all of our materials as well. So you can find those calendars that I referenced in the beginning, or even that Life After High School, College and Career Planning guides in there, along with many other free resources that we have right in that resource library. And we do have e-alerts or tips of the week videos that go out as well to students and families. You can sign up for these at iCanSucceed.org/e-alerts, or right on our website on the main page, there is a sign up there as well. But these e-alerts talk about tips of the weeks for students and parents. We have grade level alerts that go out, and as well as event and reminders as well. So when we host college fairs and everything like that, we have those go out. We do have social media. We are active on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, so you can find us there as well. I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. I don't see any questions coming in the chat, but please feel free again if you have any questions to reach out to us on our website, call our offices, and we'd be happy to help. Have a great rest of your night.